Hello, it's me again. It's August 8th, 2025. No, hang on, it's the 23rd of August. My mistake. Yeah, just doing these things, sometimes I forget the dates. Because now we're going to go back in time again to 2020. All right. At first, January, COVID 19 was just a state of emergency. But in March 11th, it became a worldwide pandemic. What this means is that everything closes. So you got no sporting events, no concerts, no bars. Schools are closed. You can't have gatherings of any sort. Even living with anybody, you can only live with the people that you were living with at the time. You cannot bring people to your home. It was really, really bad. Toilet paper was selling for a crazy amount of money. I don't understand exactly how people could start paying ridiculous amounts for toilet paper. I thought that was really stupid. But anyway, it was worldwide, so everybody was feeling the inflictions, and people were dying. Now, they didn't come up with some type of inoculation until almost a year later, close to 2021. And then everybody had to get inoculated. It was almost mandatory. But what it caused in the situation of my psychic ability was the visions that I saw beforehand. It's like the animals on the street. Within the fall of 2020, wild animals were roaming the streets and stuff like that because no people were allowed on the streets. They had curfews in most cities and countries and stuff like that. Even our city had a curfew of, I think it was 8 o'clock. The only people that are allowed to be out were the essential workers. So you got the people working in the hospitals, the firemen, the nurses, the doctors, the people working in the drugstores, the people working in the stores so they can supply food to the people. I thought that was important, of course. But my abilities were affected. I could not see things that were going to happen. My readings weren't really good because of all the energy flying all over the world and even in my country, even in my city and all. It was just overwhelming and nothing was coming in straight. I still could see my two angels. I still had that ghost with me that I brought from the farm to my sister's house so that way nothing bad would happen to that ghost. It was just a bad time in general, but I still had the abilities to do certain things. And it was a little bit lucky for me too because there was this one young lady, well, not young, she was in her late 40s that I did a reading on 5 years ago that wanted another reading. And I told her, no, my abilities are not there and that I couldn't do it. And I did see something not so nice happening to her, but I wasn't going to do a reading on her anyway because how accurate am I going to be? But anyway, she ended up having a stroke. She didn't die, but she was paralyzed on one side of her body. And she didn't blame me, which I would have blamed me because I didn't do the reading. Probably could have told her some things to prevent a stroke. But anyway, I don't really like to say bad things to people on readings. It hurts me as well as it does the person I'm doing the reading for because it's going to make them feel bad. Nothing personal about anything about it. It's just I just don't like it. So it's kind of fortunate that I didn't do this reading. I couldn't do this reading. And I couldn't do hardly any readings because first of all I have to touch the person and there was no touching. You had to be within 3 meters away from everybody. We're all wearing masks. It was a horrible time, but we got by. Financially I really hurt really bad and the money I put aside was all used up. I asked for help for the second youngest sister, and I was denied. It happens. They were all having a hard time. Everybody's hurting for wealth, so there wasn't too much to be had from everybody. But the pandemic was horrible. A lot of people died from it. They estimated almost 18 to 33 million people. That is a lot of people dying from disease. And I was still living with my sister, and the angels still told me I got to do these stories or videos. So I decided to make videos about it, and I got a new cell phone and I started recording on that. But I still procrastinated on it. And then I asked for items that I'll be needing to do these videos, which I'll tell you about later. But anyway, 2020 was not a good year for anybody, really. Yeah, the government did help as much as they could. They supplemented some of the people's income by giving them a little bit of money every month. So that kind of helped the public a little bit because they closed everything, factories, like nobody was working. Almost 70 to 80% of the population was just stagnant, staying at home, not going anywhere. And that was really bad. And so the government stepped in and helped out a lot, helping the people with their wealth and making sure that they got a little bit of money so they can survive until this is over. And that's my story for today. It's not a long one. And I'll talk to you later. It's Birdy.